Our topic for today is teaching aids, its meaning, importance, and types. In this lesson, you will learn the meaning of teaching aids, the importance of teaching aids in the teaching learning process, and also the different types of teaching aids. A teaching aid refers to any aids or materials used by a teacher in the classroom in order to make one's teaching more interesting, understandable, and effective. It can be any device used in the classroom to motivate learners and encourage learning. From a picture chart to a video clip, a teaching aid enlivens the classroom instruction. The other newer terms for teaching aids are learning aids or learning support materials. Some examples are charts, models, maps, flashcards, audio and video tapes and recorders, projectors, etc. Teaching aids are used by a teacher to supplement classroom instruction and stimulate students' interest. It is intended to enhance and increase students' learning potentials. Teaching aids are of immense value in the teaching learning process. The first advantage is motivation of students. Triggering interest and capturing attention is the first step to any effective learning. Teaching aids help in capturing the learner's attention. A good teaching aid will always induce a feeling of curiosity in the students to learn new things. It motivates them to learn more effectively. Clarification of subject matter. Teaching aids bring clarity to learning situations. Teaching aids are important because they can make a concept clear and easy for learners to understand. An abstract idea or concept can be made concrete and clear. Thus, it facilitates the formation and attainment of concepts among learners. It discourages cramming. Since teaching aids concretize the abstract concepts, there is very less chance for learners to resort to rote learning. In fact, learners get absorbed in the class, often actively participating. Teaching aids provide reinforcement for better learning and help students to relate what is being taught to real-life situations. Teaching aids discourages cramming, so learning is no longer stressful for students. Teaching aids helps learners to increase their vocabulary. In language teaching situations, created with the help of pictures or models are used for learning vocabulary or structure. The use of flashcards also helps students to acquire new words and phrases. Lively and active classroom. Teaching aids helps in making learning fun in the classroom. It makes the classroom atmosphere lively and colorful. Teaching aids provide direct experiences to students. They get the opportunity to connect theory with real-life experiences. This reinforces classroom learning. Active modes of learning is promoted, which helps in the longer retention of the learned matter. There are individual differences among the learners. Some are auditory learners who learn best through their sense of hearing. We have visual learners who can absorb information best by visualizing, and kinesthetic learners who learn best from hands-on activities. Thus, there are different types of teaching aids to meet the varied requirements of all these students. The teaching aids are classified as audio aids such as tape recorders and radio, visual aids that include printed visual aids such as newspapers or magazines, and non-printed visual aids such as models, blackboard, picture charts, cue cards, etc. The third is audio-visual aids such as motion pictures, television, and so on. We also have projected and non-projected aids. Then low-cost or no-cost aids are also a very important type of teaching aids. Audio aids. Audio aids are those teaching aids that facilitate learning by involving the sense of hearing. They primarily stimulate the hearing sense of learners. Radios, gramophones, tape recorders, Walkman, and headphones are some examples of audio aids. We will discuss two of these. Radio. A radio can be used in a number of ways for teaching English. Young learners can listen to English program broadcast and practice the language later. It will help them to develop listening as well as fluent speaking abilities. Tape recorder. A tape recorder is another useful type of audio aids. For example, it can be used for learning spellings. The teacher can prepare a tape on which words and their spellings are recorded. Listening to such tapes will help the students learn spellings of difficult words. The main purpose of audio aids is to develop the listening skill of the learners. Visual aids facilitate learning by involving learners' visual organs, that is, the eyes. Some examples are chalkboard, charts, pictures, flashcards, maps, models, or even actual objects. A chalkboard is the most commonly used visual aid. The teacher can write or sketch the important contents on the chalkboard so that contents can be understood clearly by the learners. Pictures can be drawn on chart papers to attract the students' attention. Picture charts can emit relevant information to learners in a simple but purposeful way. Pictures, flashcards, cue cards, and picture cards also serve as good visual aids. Models are also very useful in teaching. Sometimes actual objects are not available or we cannot bring those objects to the class for teaching. In that case, their models serve the purpose. For example, a globe can be used as a model for the Earth. Audio-visual aids are the learning aids that involve the sense of vision as well as hearing. It is easier to believe what you hear, but if you see and hear, then you can understand more readily and retain more lastingly, said D.El.Ed. Audio-visual aids serves this purpose very well because these aids involve the sense of vision as well as hearing. These aids engages both the learner's ears and eyes. The students can see and listen at the same time. Hence, they make the teaching learning process lively and more effective. The greatest advantage of this is that they are the closest representation of reality. Television, projectors, motion pictures, video cassettes, film strips are some few examples of audiovisual aids. The projected and non-projected aids are part of the other types of teaching aids that we have already discussed. Projected aids refers to those aids where a bright light is passed through a transparent picture by means of a lens and an enlarged picture is projected on a screen. Some teaching aids, such as slide projectors or overhead projectors, are called projected aids as they require images and information to be projected on a screen. On the other hand, some visual aids, such as charts, posters, pictorial materials, models, and many more others do not require a projector, electricity, or a projection screen, so they are referred to as non-projected aids. Low-cost and no-cost learning aids are those aids that are available at a very cheap rate or require no cost at all. There is no guarantee that everything that a teacher needs for teaching will be available at his doorstep. Creative teachers are able to think of creative ways to prepare and develop teaching aids, even from waste materials. This can help the teaching interesting and concrete. In conclusion, you should remember that any teaching aid should be meaningful and purposeful. It should be simple, cheap, educative, and accurate in every aspect. It should be relevant and suit the mental level of your students. It should be improvised and easily portable. It should not be too big to create inconveniences when you carry it around. And at the same time, it should not be too small as well. It should be large enough to be properly seen by all the students in the classroom. It should be up to date, and most importantly, it should motivate learners to learn. In our next class, we will learn the meaning of curriculum and the needs and importance of curriculum revision.